In this video, I'm going to show you how you can go from something like this QR code on the left to something like this on the right using DiffusionBee. First things first, you're going to need a QR code. So whether you want to make one for an image, a website, using it for promotional materials or what have you, there's different websites you can utilize. I like using this one, 34qr.com. Ideally, you want to find one that has a fault tolerance option. You want to have one with the highest fault tolerance, and that allows up to 30% of the QR code to be damaged and still be functional. Once you have, somewhere you want people to go, you just put in the URL or number or whatever it is, and you would hit generate, and it's going to generate a QR code for you. Then you can download it in the format of your choice. So whether that is a PNG, a JPEG, I'm just going to pick a JPEG for this example and save it to your computer. Now I'm just going to say this off top, it's not going to be a fast one-off kind of deal. Some other tools out there allow you to use multiple layers of LoRa to kind of help fine-tune that. And DiffusionBee currently doesn't have that option, so it will take a lot of experimentation to kind of get it to look right. Some will make some really cool images, just not readable. Something like this, I would, love to be a functioning QR code, but currently it's not. So you'd probably have to take it into like Photoshop or PhotoP to kind of fine tune it to make it look and still be functional there. Just a quick summary or history of QR codes. It was created in 1994 by a Japanese company named Denso Wave, which was a subsidiary of Toyota. They developed QR codes to address the need for more efficient methods for tracking automotive parts during manufacturing. Conventional barcodes at the time could only store limited amounts of data horizontally, whereas QR codes could store data both horizontally and vertically, significantly increasing their data capacity. Their ability to store a wide range of data types, including text, URLs, and binary data, made them versatile. This made QR codes a popular tool for interactive advertising campaigns, bridging the offline and online worlds. Today, QR codes continue to play a significant role in various aspects of our lives. The history from automotive tracking to becoming a ubiquitous part of this digital landscape reflects their enduring importance in modern technology and communication. With all that being said, let's dive into this. So first things first, aside from having your QR code, you're going to need the right kind of model. Now there are quite a lot to choose from. I'd recommend you either download the Dream Shaper or the Ghost Mix models that are available directly from DiffusionBee in the menu at the very bottom under models. Simply click on the download button and it'll take a minute for it to load because it is the pretty large models. Once that's installed, it'll show up in your models menu, and from there we're going to go to image to image. In image to image, you're going to load your QR code that you already created. You're going to put that in the top option here, and also at the bottom under control net, you're going to load it in there as well. Now there are different modes you can choose from. We're going to use tile for this example, and we're going to have all of our numbers set pretty low. And in tile mode, you're also going to have this automatic generate control set to no. So you're going to have this importance level set to like 0.4. You don't want it set too high. Really wouldn't go past like 0.6. Anything above that, really, it's kind of overkill, and you're just going to end up with stuff that just looks like the QR code. For the sampler, there's a lot of examples out there. In DiffusionBee, they have a few you can choose from right here. I would probably stick with either the K Euler or the DDIM models. K Euler tends to be a little bit more painterly for the things I've tried so far, but you choose, what works for you. The guidance scale, we're gonna have that set pretty low, anywhere from like 7.5 to maybe close to 9. Again, having that set too high will kind of limit how much creativity, the Stable Diffusion has with creating the image. So we want to have it set fairly low, somewhere close to the middle here. So I might even go as high as like maybe 8.8 for this example. I mean, even that might be a little too high. So let me just dial that back for this example. We're going to have this at 7.3. And for your seed number, I mean, you can just generate a random one. You can try one that you found online, see what works for you. I'm just going to type in a random number here. And for the number of steps, because we're trying to find an image that works first, I wouldn't have this step count set super high immediately, because we're literally just trial and error to see what the one first looks cool and also functions. So I would have this kind of low. I mean, you can go anywhere from like 18 to like 20 or something, just to kind of get a decent little batch going to find one that looks good. For the input strength, again, we're gonna have that set pretty low. I would have it maybe even starting around like 12 and just slowly increasing this. You know, if it doesn't quite look at all like a QR code, it's not gonna be functional. You're probably having that too low, and if it looks just like completely like a QR code, it's probably set too high. So again, we have to play with the balance here of like what works. And I'm just gonna have this set pretty low again. So we're gonna start this off at like 12.6, sure. And I'm using the Ghost Mix model for this example. I'm gonna try to have this looking like a Renaissance painting. You know, you can try what works for you. Yeah, I think I don't even know if I want a person in this one. I'll just say a Renaissance painting of a beautiful garden. How about that? So I'm gonna get rid of the rest of this. There we go. So a masterpiece Renaissance painting, I don't need the comma there, of a beautiful garden. Ultra sharp, intricate, detailed, highly intricate details, realistic light, painting by Renee. And I'm gonna have, you know, a bunch of negative prompts in here. We don't want any not safe for work stuff. We don't want it to look like a 3D render, anything like that. So I'm gonna put a bunch of negative prompts in there. Again, you can find plenty online, a lot of examples, and you're gonna have to run this a lot of times. So as I mentioned earlier, DiffusionBee currently, you can only do, it's a little limited with certain things. So for this, I've seen it done with like automatic 1111, where they're running multiple LoRa's to kind of refine QR codes and stuff. You can't do that just yet with this. So this is going to take a little bit more trial and error, but we're going to set this batch size to maybe 5. I'm going to let this run and see how this looks, and I'll try a few different modes here so you can see the difference. So I would try to think of something that might look well with the QR code. So for me, looking at this, something with like a tiled background, so like a swimming pool with tiles, Venetian glass, you know, art piece or something, acrylic or oil painting, like those all kind of fit within this look. And like a snowy village or something like that would look kind of cool with the QR code. But try what you want to see what works for you. The resolution, we're also going to have this kind of high. By default, it's set to 512. We're going to bump this up a little bit. I'm not going to max it out just yet because I want to find one that looks good and that kind of functions. And then when I'm happy with that, then we can increase the everything, the resolution and the step count and everything. So this might take a little minute. And I finished, as you can see, I ran this quite a few times. And like I mentioned earlier, this isn't going to be like a set it and you're done kind of thing. You do have to experiment with different step counts and different resolutions and all that good stuff until you find one that looks decent and functions. And there are kind of some workarounds you can do. Say you wanted to use one of these random ones. I mean, this is pretty close to like just a regular QR code, but if it didn't function, what I would do is take the QR code itself and kind of overlay it on top of this using either like Photoshop or Photop, and kind of with like a multiply layer or something to darken the different areas to make it a little bit more readable. That's another workaround for this kind of thing. But yeah, I ran this quite a few times, and yeah, I finally got a few of these to function. So, you know, go ahead and if you want, scan this one and let me know what you see in the comments below. All right, y'all, you have a good one. Hopefully this video helped and you can use it to kind of create some fun stuff. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon.